Hello and welcome back to the Get Sculpted podcast and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Woo, first day of 2026. So if you're listening in, you might be catching this right at the start of your year. And that is perfect because we want to talk about a specific type of goal that you might have and that a lot of people have and a lot of our clients relate to. And that is being hot, just getting hotter. And I want to start off by sharing, like, what does being hot actually mean? Because sometimes when we hear that, we think, oh, is it that someone else deems you hot? And I would say not even necessarily that. In fact, this is more like an intrinsic feeling, something you feel about yourself. So I would love if you guys add to this too, but I'll kind of share what being hot means in my mind. So number one, it's that you feel great wearing anything. Like the contrast of that I always hear from people is I just, will try on a million outfits and throw them on the floor. And I just kind of wearing something that's going to make me like disappear into the crowd. And I really don't feel good in my body. And being hot to me is like, wow, I feel awesome. Like I pretty much could wear a paper bag right now and I feel awesome. It means you could wear anything in your closet. You could wear nothing. Like you feel great, feeling great naked.
Yeah.
Feeling great naked. Like to me, it's not even being naked with someone, it's just being naked with myself. Like I look in the mirror and I'm like, awesome, loving it. It's also like you're not seeking anyone else's validation. Like you feel more of a sense of security. So being hot is also, it's a state of mind. It's not just how you look. But when you feel like, hey, my outer self is congruent with the inner self I want to be, you just show up better. Like you don't take crap from people. You just own that attention when you walk into a room. And it's just really feeling like the best version of yourself. So it's a feeling of I'm putting my best foot forward. So would you guys add anything to that? Like what makes you feel hot?
For me, I think you hit it on the head. It's looking in the mirror and just loving what I see. And like you said, in clothes, out of clothes, just looking and being like, I feel amazing. I look amazing. My insides and my outsides match, and just that confidence. What about you, Jord?
Yeah, I would add that something that I've actually heard clients talk about when they were goal setting for this coming year was wanting to feel like they don't have to hide anymore.
Yes.
Who they are, what they like, how they want to dress. I think feeling hot and sexy also is like, when I define it, it's more so like not living up to necessarily the beauty standards that are out in society, but the ones that you set for yourself. And we've heard so many different things. It could mean like feeling confident to wear a certain particular like item of clothing, but it could also be to just like own the way that your body is shaped and the best version of that, right? And as you age. So to me, I think it's actually like a really personal thing, but I like to hear women lean into being like, I want to look good. I
Yes.
want to see what that means for me, and not just setting goals that are, the noble ones that they think they should say when they start their journey.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to talk about that too, because a lot of the time when I talk to people, especially if they have kids, their reason tends to be, I want to be around longer for my kids, or having kids was the catalyst to me being better. And I think that's amazing. And I can definitely attest to that. Like, I know when I became a mom, I was like time is ticking. All those things I said I want to do, I got to do them because if I don't get myself together right now, like my child is here and he's watching and he's going to model what I'm doing. So there's no time to just goof around. And I think, for someone who might be at a place where their health is suffering and they're on medication and like they really like their doctors told them to lose weight, like they have even more of that urgency, to do it. And not that those are just noble reasons, those are health reasons, right? Like they might even have more of that sense of urgency to take action. But sometimes I've heard when I've done calls with people that they say, I'm kind of hesitant to say this. And I'm like, oh, wait, what is it? And they're like, I want to look hot too. And I'm like, they're
Own
like,
it.
Yeah. I'm like, let me tell you something. This is what no one really tells you. It's a safe space to say
Safe
here
space.
is that being hot makes you feel so much better in every area of your life. Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
honestly, it's like when you go shopping, the only reason you're not going to buy the clothes is because they're crappy clothes or they just don't suit your body shape. It's not because you're in bad shape.
Right.
Because you're like, well, I know I'm hot. It's the freaking clothes problem. And then it's seriously. And then also you're never worried about like a vacation. You're like, sick, amazing. Like, take that picture. Hell yeah. Like, let's get that selfie. Like, that feels awesome. And that is never for 1 second something that is shallow. And the only reason people say that is I think, I might make a controversial statement here, but I think people just get to a place of acceptance where they kind of give up on themselves and they're like, I don't want to change. I can't change anything about myself. I might as well just accept where I'm at. But that doesn't need to be the way. Like, that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing to want to like feel awesome. It doesn't mean you don't love yourself. It doesn't mean that you hate yourself. It means you want to get better. You could say like, I appreciate my body for all it's done. people always say that. Yeah, but and I would love to feel awesome wearing this and that outfit. Like for me, it was always cyclist shorts. Like it was always I had a flat booty, and then when my when I had more belly fat, it would be like more belly fat, flat booty. Like I just didn't like that whole look. So I'm like, I just want like a bubbly booty in the cyclist shorts and a flat stomach. And honestly, that it feels really good. I'm not ashamed to say that. I'm not ashamed to say like I love feeling good in a bathing suit. And if someone hasn't ever been there, sometimes they feel like, can I even say that out loud? Like me, hot, but you can do it. Like I think at the end of the day, people just really want to feel more comfortable in their bodies, and they want to get to a place mentally that they've really never been before.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So I think another symptom that shows up here is if you're uncomfortable in your body, you can really seek things to hide that are just kind of band-aids. So for example, like overspending on like makeup and fancy clothes and like these beauty treatments. And I love all these things. Like I love makeup and clothes and beauty treatments. But if you don't feel comfortable with where you're at, if you have emotional eating issues, if you have like, excess body fat that's like a symptom of you not taking care of yourself and a lack of muscle, then no amount of aesthetic fixes are going to give you that security. Right. Because through the process of building your body, it's not just that you look better, because I mean, you do. Who doesn't look better with more muscle and less fat? It's the fact that, hey, I'm the kind of person who does these things, and you're glowing from the inside out. How could you not glow when you're freaking healthy and you're prioritizing your health? And you can't just say like, okay, well, I'm going to treat my body like crap, and I'm going to skip meals, and I'm not really going to work out, and I'm going to drink alcohol. But if I get my microneedling and I spend like $2,000 on Louis Vuitton, like I'm going to feel great. Like that's just going to be a mask. So
Right.
that's not being your best self, and that really starts from the inside out. Would you guys agree with that?
1,000%. And I think
Definitely.
a lot of it comes from fear too, like fear of the number of times you might have failed on this journey, fear to try again, fear to invest again. And the other things that we fill with masks are, safer things that give us a temporary boost. But what a lot of women tell me when we have our calls is like, they're like, yeah, I want to look good. And
Always.
I'm tired of trying to hide that. And so I think that's where this conversation stemmed from originally, that we wanted to have, is actually really just bring that out into the forefront and be like, own the goal. Like if you want this goal, just own it. Tell us, because we're here to help you get there.
Yeah. As always, we give you permission to do those things, to say those things, what's really going on.
Exactly. And we just wanted to bake it in there that like, this is what we help our clients with, right? Like if you're like, hey, I do want to embrace that hot side of myself and the healthy side of myself, but the hot side too, then just, you can always click that link below. We leave it in the show notes for you guys to like learn about us, chat with us. And that could just be like that first step that you take toward becoming your 2.0 self. So Mare, I know you have a lot of women who tend to kind of downplay this desire to want to be hot. So let's talk about like what that looks like under the surface.
Yeah. And I'm glad we're having this because like I said, it's giving women permission, because I think a lot of women, they feel these things, but they don't articulate it. And it's not until they have that platform to do so that they're like, okay, I can actually divulge what's going on underneath. So you touched on it, T. They'll say things like, I want to feel healthier, or I want more energy. And those are great and absolutely true, but it's not the whole truth. There is something deeper that you're scared to say. And what's going on in these women's heads is like, they want to feel confident. They want to look in the mirror, love what they see. They want to feel sexy. But we have been so conditioned to believe that we have to feel guilty for wanting those things, right? You hear all the time that women, like when we have those conversations with women and we say like, because they do say like, oh, I don't know if I should say this. I'm like, go ahead, say it. But they fear that they're going to be labeled. I've had them preface it with, I know this is shallow, or I know this might sound self-absorbed. And I'm like, no. That's your desire. This is safe for you to say this. But I think we come by it honestly as women, because guilt runs deep. Society, that's what it's all about. It praises women for being humble. And then the second we say we want to be hot, people suddenly act like you've crossed a line and you're being vain. So because of that, a lot of women choose to stay uncomfortable. They choose to keep that inside instead of owning what they want. But we know the price that leads to. The cost of it is, just because you're not saying it out loud doesn't mean those thoughts are not going on in your head. So those thoughts will come up. I always say it's like, what are the thoughts that keep you up at night? Or what are the thoughts that pop up on your drive or in the shower? Like those thoughts that are playing in your head about how you wish that maybe, you see a picture of yourself and you're like, I wish I looked like that. Or you go to try something on and, nothing feels good. It's a terrible feeling. One of the worst is when we hear women say like, I feel like I'm past my prime. And
Mm-hmm.
they're just like passive participants in their life. So I think what we want every woman right now to hear is that owning your desire to look hot, it does not make you shallow, like not even a little bit. It makes you a woman with feelings and real desires.
It makes me think about like if you were going to watch a movie and you were the leading lady of that movie, like would your movie be interesting to watch? Like that's what I think
Good.
about
No,
when
it's
I think
good.
about like living past your prime
Yeah.
and living in that place where you're just like hiding and covering and sitting on the sidelines and taking the picture for someone else.
Yeah.
And deep down, you really want all of these other things. And part of that is looking how you feel, right? Or looking how you want to look. And by not doing that, by not taking action on that, it does cost you so much. And
So much.
what kind of movie are you making of your life?
That's a
As a
really good
result.
analogy.
Yeah,
I like
you
that.
need to have main character energy.
Yeah,
Always.
would you watch that movie? And I bet most of you are listening and be like, my movie's gonna be pretty freaking boring right now. And I
Yeah.
don't want that for you.
No, we don't. We absolutely don't.
And they think that there's an expiration date to when they can be hot. I think a lot of women are
Yes.
like, but I'm a mom. Like I never once
Be
knew.
a hot mom.
Yeah, a mamacita.
Yeah.
And I think, I think a lot of women, though, you hit such a good point. They think that, like, you can't have two things. You can't hold those two things true at once. Like, you can't be a mom and be hot. And they think that it somehow takes away from you being a good mom, or, it doesn't make you a good role model to your kids. But I disagree with that completely. If anything, I believe it enhances it, because when you feel hot and confident, we know, because we've all experienced this, you show up so differently. You show up with more energy. You show up with more of a like zeal for life. Like everything, it feels better. It tastes better. Everything is different. And everyone gets the best version of you because of that, instead of that woman who does hide behind the camera and not take the pictures, or get in the bathing suit with her family when they're on vacation. So own it. Like absolutely own it.
Mm-hmm.
And your kids are proud of you, might I add. Like, I don't
Yes.
know, like my
It's so
son said that
true.
before too. Me and Brian will often will say things like, Brian will be like, that guy's in some shape, or like, be like, wow, she's in some shape. And then Hunter will see us sometimes be like, Dad, Mom, you're in some shape. I'm like, oh, thank you. And I'm like,
It's so
I love
cute.
that. I know everyone's like, oh, it's not about the external. I'm like, it's not even that. It's like that your kids notice, like you put in the effort to prioritize
Yes.
yourself. And then that's just like your kids will never do what you say. They do what you do.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if your kids grow up seeing like you draw boundaries with your time and dedicating time
Yes.
to yourself, like I have sons, so I think they're going to normalize that for their wives, right? Like, and then if you have daughters, it's even more important, because
Mhm.
firsthand they're going to be like, well, that's just what I do. I don't put myself second to everyone else
Right.
in the family.
That's right. And you want to breed that confidence. Like I have my two nieces, and I always want them to feel like they can show up as the best version of themselves, as the, whatever that is for them. I never want them to feel like they have to hide behind anything or anyone. I want them to live that authentically. So I think part of that is, don't silence what you want. Like own it. So important to own it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're listening to this and you're nodding along thinking, yeah, like that, this is totally me, then we want you to know you don't have to figure it out alone. And if you're curious what the next steps could look like, or even where to begin, then feel free to send us a DM on Instagram at getsculpted.ca, because we read every message. We are so grateful when you message, and we are so happy to point you in the right direction. So Jord, you talk about how, looking good isn't just about looks. So let's talk about now, what does it actually represent? Looking hot, what does that represent?
Yeah, it's ultimately about the identity shift that you're making. And I
Yes.
think that's what the core of any health and fitness journey can really look like. Like all of these external changes, all of these goals that you have are really about who you're becoming in the process, and what you're choosing to believe going forward about yourself, about time management, about what's possible for you, and about the kind of life that you want to live. And when you are living in your fittest, strongest, healthiest, sexiest body at whatever age you're at, and however that's defined for you, you're ultimately really representing somebody who has self-respect and built consistency for themselves, and has a level of discipline and structure to their day to allow those results to actually happen, because it isn't just going to magically happen. There has to be changes in your life being made. You have to be able to take control of your day, and you have to be able to prioritize yourself in that day. And then you have to be able to execute even when it's hard. And I think that's the part that people don't really always women don't really connect with all the time. Like that goal of wanting to look a certain way and be like, I want to lose the 20 pounds and I'm ready to admit that, to what it means of who they're becoming along the journey of that. Because that's where it actually connects. That's where it all comes together. Because when you start to make that happen, and I lived this experience, like when I started to really put that blueprint into place for myself, it literally spilled over into every area of my life.
Definitely.
I had better boundaries. I made better decisions. I had better relationships. I changed my whole life. Like I moved cities. I changed careers. I like set up everything in a different way because I realized that that worthiness was always within me. And it's funny because everybody's aha moment will come from a different place. And maybe if you're listening, this is your aha moment, right? You're like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's exactly what I needed to hear right now.
Right.
So it's like, what would you guys add anything to that? That was like so major for me.
Yeah, I think it's a whole vibe. Like that's kind of like what stands out for me. It's just who you are, and nothing is gonna mess with you when you're in that mindset because you know your worth.
Yeah.
So for me, giving myself permission to like articulate and actually say out loud that I want it to be hot. So you know how we talk about how this spills into every area of your life, and it does.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like I became more unapologetic in all the other areas of my life. And I started to notice, where am I silencing myself in other areas? So when I gave myself permission to be like, I want to look hot and fit, I was like, I can have that same bravery and courage in other areas. So I felt it in terms of how I showed up, but also in what I would allow myself to say. It truly changed my life. Like I know that sounds so dramatic, but it really did, because it opened up the door to so many other things that I let myself do.
You don't need validation from other people, and other people don't phase you. Because another thing I want to talk about, this is kind of niche, but maybe you guys have experienced it. Like when you put yourself out there online, you're going to get a hater or whatever. Like,
Totally.
trust me, put yourself on TikTok, you're going to get a lot of haters. Like people were just, I remember people telling me like that I look 20 years older than I am. And then part of that did like get to me for a second. And then now I'm like, if someone says something, and people have said things in my whatever post, I'm just like, I don't care what you think of me. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Mr. Troll, like, 2002, or I mean, that's not a child, 2000, how old are 2002 are adults, but like whatever,
Yeah.
like some 16-year-old in their mom's basement. I'm like, I really don't care what you think. When you're like insecure of yourself, you really let people's comments get to you, and you might
Yes.
spiral. I know I have in the past. So now if you feel like you're hot, you're like, well, I feel like I'm hot. I don't give a crap about you.
Exactly.
In fact, I don't give a crap about any guy. I'm not here doing this for the male gaze. I'm
That's
doing
right.
this for me, and I don't care what you think. It's like, you just, like you said that before, Jord, like expressing yourself in the way that you like. Like it's like the whole like, oh, men don't like a lot of makeup. Men don't like
Like,
long nails.
who cares?
But we're not doing this for men.
No.
Like we're all married, but like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're doing it for yourself. So
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, me too.
And so why do you think this guilt prevails so much? Like, where do you think it comes from? Like, what is that you think will finally get women to wake up?
to be honest, I think that people don't say that they want to be hot, because I think that them saying that, they actually don't believe it when they say it. Because if you're coming from a place where you've always been so uncomfortable in your body, you're like at a place where you're hiding your body. You've never even like maybe
That's true.
taken your clothes off in front of a partner for 5 years. You might think, me hot? That's like me saying I'm a billionaire. Like it just doesn't, it feels wrong to say it. So I think people feel so uncomfortable even putting those words in the same sentence that they kind of like shield themselves. Like deep
Yeah.
down, they really want that, but they don't see the path forward to it. They don't identify with that yet.
That's a good point.
So like what I tell people in that case is like, borrow other people's belief. Like in our
Right.
community, I'm like, guess what? People were in the exact same place you are now 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And now you're in there listening to them post about their life today. This is showing you that that's your future.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
What's
borrow
possible.
other people's belief. Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
I love that. And something that we did in our community at the beginning of December to help women set themselves up for success for 2026 is we did this belief breaking vision setting call. And I have been getting all of my clients to complete this exercise and sending me the prompt from ChatGPT that we had them do to set it up into a
love that.
day in their life.
They love it.
They love it. And I was like bawling my eyes out reading all of the ones coming in. And
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, this is so cool. And speaking on this topic,
Mhm.
One in particular where she was talking in the summary that ChatGPT made of her goals in the day of her life and what it felt like to get ready in the morning when she woke up from bed and she could feel her body in the bed taking up less space and being stronger and being tighter, and how even just raising from laying down to sitting up, she could feel her core engage, and how she got out of the shower and she didn't hide from what she saw in the mirror, and she like confidently dried herself off and was like,
Mhm.
I look good today. Like, just like the descriptor of that
Yeah.
was like so powerful, because I remember in my early days what it felt like to come out of the shower when I
Yes.
didn't feel good. And I avoided at all costs
The
looking at
mirror.
that little,
Right.
be like, nope, don't cover
Yeah.
up so fast, right? And to be able to like literally describe at that level of detail how you want to feel in your morning routine.
Right.
And I was
Aw.
crying reading it, because the whole day was different, and we could tie back to the exact habits that she's practicing
Right.
today, what that's going to feel like 10 months from now, next November,
Mhm.
and the things that she's thinking and the things that she's doing and how they're different and how those seeds are being planted right now. It was so
Oh, I
powerful.
love that so much.
It was amazing.
What if we share that prompt with people?
We
Would you-
should. Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
it.
Let's share the prompt. We'll put it in the show notes for you guys,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
pretty powerful exercise, and we'd love for you to experience it too.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
good.
All right. So I think we got into some great discussion here, ladies. Hopefully, we have given you the permission to just be your hottest and sexiest self in 2026. That doesn't mean a number on the scale. It doesn't even mean a specific size. It's a mindset, but it's also how you show up, right? Like, we want you to lift the weights, eat the meals, listen to the Get Sculpted podcast.
Yes.
And that is your recipe for being the hottest version of yourself. And remember, you don't need to choose this or that. It's not like I want to get healthy for my kids or look hot for myself. It's
That's
and
right.
I can do both of these things. And remember, like, when you show up and stay congruent with the person you say you want to be, and that's reflected on the outside, you're going to show up better in all areas of your life. So we want you to stop
Definitely.
apologizing for wanting more. You are more than allowed to want to be hot and fit and healthy. Doesn't matter if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or beyond. Doesn't matter if you're a mom. You can always get to that place for you. So would you girls add anything to send us off?
Listen to
Yes, I was gonna say.
all year long. We got
Yeah.
you. Like, let us be the voice in your head if you're not sure where to
That's right.
guide yourself. Like, we're here. We've all been in your shoes, and we're excited to see where 2026
Yeah.
heads. I think it's going to be a big year.
Yeah, and I would say like let us be that safe space for you. If right now in your life maybe you're listening thinking like, okay, yeah, I want to be able to say these things, but you still feel maybe that you can't in the environment you're in, we are that safe space, and we will help pull that out of you and help you like share it with the world, because we've seen, like you said, with how we've experienced it, but with the women in our community, and it is powerful, it's infectious, and you deserve it. You deserve to be able to feel and say these things.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Absolutely. You guys are going to love our next episode. We're going to talk about, are you a fitness quitter? We're going to help you not quit your fitness journey.
Yes.
So if you've built some momentum, we're going to help you keep it next week. So we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.